Hey guys, this here is Getaway Driver 101, and today I'm going to be giving y'all an explanation on how to set up security where you can make sure your security is very robust. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go to Microsoft Edge or Google or Firefox, whatever one you're using. You're going to go here, you're going to click on you're going to make sure to turn everything as far as the check marks, do not track, do not send request, things like that. And then you're going to set strict, set all this website to protection, blah blah, strict. If you want to set up a custom DNS query, that's up to you. If you like Cloudflare or whatnot. Windows Defender Smart Screen, if you have that, potentially unblock apps, all this other stuff. Now, once everything's set up on your browser and your main security of the computer is set up properly, there are some things that people forget with security, and I'm not talking about Windows Defender, Malwarebytes, or any of that. What people forget with security is that when you go to your control panel, you have security in here as well, right? Right. Well, a lot of people don't know that. They think that, well, this here is my security for my computer, and this here is my security for my computer. Yes, that is technically correct. So you have a firewall here, which is a part of this firewall here. That is correct and incorrect at the same time. And I'll get to that in just a minute. So with Windows, you have your main firewall that comes with Windows, and then you have your user firewall. Now, the user firewall is going to be from the internet in here, what I just showed. Your primary firewall controller is going to be within the settings of this and going to be within the settings of your control panel. Now, most people seem to think that your control panel is going to just, that it's just this, that this is your security. Oh, everything says it's great. That's true, but also false. You also have your security and maintenance here. You can run your maintenance, auto, set it up however you want. But the facts are that your security, your correct one, is actually here in internet options for when you're using the internet. Now, when I say correct one, I'm talking about internet security for browsing purposes or making sure your backdoors are closed. So this video is intended to show how to make sure your backdoors are closed. You have nothing on the computer as a backdoor, and that everything is running like it should be. So when you go to your internet options, you're going to go to security. You're going to bump this to high, this one to high, this one to high, and this one to high. Now, if the lines vanish on this, then that's okay. Don't worry about it. Just make sure they're set to high. If you can't adjust them, don't worry about it. It's okay. Turn on pop-up blocker, make sure that's on. You don't have to mess with this. This here's your content system. You don't have to mess with this either. This here's your connections. You don't have to mess with this. This here's programs. Don't have to mess with this. What you need to go to is advanced. So you're gonna go down to the bottom, security, block. You're gonna make sure all this is set up like it should be. You can read these or pause the video. Make sure everything is set as it should be. Warn, warn, and warn. Once those are set, and then you have your security down here set, and then your security here set in your Firefox or Google or whatnot, whoever you're using for a antivirus, and whoever you're using for a browser, you need to make sure that your antivirus is set correctly all the way up. Then you need to make sure your browser security is set all the way up. And then you need to make sure your security controller for the internet is set up, which is this here. And a lot of people forget about the internet options controller. And I don't know why people forget about it, but it's just something that people forget about. It's not the best protector. It's not going to be an ad guard. It's not going to block ads from YouTube. Although if you want something that can do that, Malwarebytes can do it for you, or other ad blockers. But you know, it shouldn't really matter. Oh, I don't see this is what irritates me with YouTube. See, look at that. I already got one there. Yeah, see what I'm talking about? Like that there. I mean, even something as basic as YouTube clicking on a video can sometimes do some weird things when it's not supposed to. So let me boot up a video and just give a demonstration here. See, it's already trying to go back to this. Yeah, and that's why you want your security set up, because even something as simple as YouTube that should be able to run videos will sometimes mess with things in weird ways like it shouldn't. I like how it's trying to give me ads. See, and this is what I mean. I got an awesome ad blocker blocked. Skip. No ad. Now with this ad blocker that I have, it lets me set everything up to extreme high resolutions. So with this ad blocker, it kind of eliminates YouTube Premium, and that's bad for me to say. But the fact is, it's not my fault. It is the developers of YouTube and the developers of antivirus engines that gotta figure that one. So just note to self, if you got a good antivirus and a good ad blocker, see 860 ads blocked, 7 bits of malware. See, it does block things and it works like it should. And that's why I tell people that you should always make sure that everything is set up. And then let's say everything is set up, but you're still getting some weird detection. And let's say your antivirus like Malwarebytes or something like Hitman Pro is detecting a website that it should not be detecting. Now, if I start up Hitman Pro, obviously I'm going to get 0 detections because my computer is, I'm always sifting it. I'm always sifting it and going through it and checking files and integrities of things. Even though the computer can do it itself, I still go through and manually do it because the computer can lie to you. Machines can lie to you. So I already got something here, doubleclick.net. That's manually blocked, and it still was able to try to ask the computer for a cookie. Even though it's not allowed to have the cookie because it's blocked from being able to manage sites permissions right there, doubleclick.net. So sometimes you just get a reoccurring. This has already been deleted and this has already been deleted. Now, how is it deleting stuff after you get done searching or after you get done doing everything? Well, that's going to be based on your security. That's also going to be based on how you have everything set up, and if you have it set up to where it's going to run when you're not online, or is it going to run when you're not on the computer, like right here in startup boost. Sure, you can have that on if you want, but do you want it to continue running in the background? That would be no, because when you close it down, it should stop it from running. What does malware do? It likes to use the app's search engines that are always running, like Google or Firefox or Microsoft Edge. So as those continue to run, it's going to continue to use them. So how do you stop the malware, or let's just say grayware, because it's really what this is. It's not even, it's malware and it is bad, but it's also really not, because it's not a full detection. Because if it was a full detection, the computer would have caught it. Malwarebytes would have caught it because it's very aggressive. Malwarebytes catches it when you search it up on the actual search engine. So once you have all your security stuff set, you should be okay. So what you do is, after this is set up, you're going to go ahead and let this, you're going to download. It's up to you if you want to download Hitman Pro. But I recommend putting Hitman Pro on your machine if you're dealing with cookie tracking. And cookie tracking is not a bad thing, because you have a thumbprint of your profiles. And like, for instance, the computer itself has seen user X gaming. which is a thumbprint of my account, meaning my account is now thumbprinting. Does that mean that that's bad? No. But it's also you need to check things that are listening. Things that are listening to your listening ports, and things that are listening to your numbers, and things that are listening to your TP connection. If something's gonna, mess with your computer, it's either gonna do it through your TCP, it's gonna do it through your IP, or it's gonna do it through the browser or the extensions. There's only like 4 or 5 ways that the computer actually physically gets manipulated in an environment. It's either being connected to the internet, user click, 0-day click, which is no user click, which is called 0 click. Then you have other ones that happen. You got your Trojans and stuff too. In total, you have like 30 or 40. I don't even know if it's that high of a number, but I would say about 30 or 40 different types between malware all the way to virus and Trojan. There's about 40 to 50 different types between all of them. Now, 40 to 50 types sounds like that's not a lot, but when you take that number, do it through millions and millions of computers, and then take it through millions of different peoples and actors that do that stuff, there's different variations, different versions, different functionalities, different everything with each and every model. Then each model gets remade or revamped or refreshed, which then in return gives it new features and new abilities and gets a new name. So it's just very bad to deal with this stuff. So it's always good to have a primary, which is your primary, your secondary scanner. You need a secondary one, which is like Hitman Pro. I'm actually going to be purchasing this here soon. Then you have your internal security, which is going to be ran on the applications or in the control panels. Now, internal security has been around for a long time with computers, and it's not the best security for internal. And what I mean by internal, meaning if you were to go in and disable Windows Defender and disable all the security except for your browser security, your computer would still work, but it would be putting itself in more of a vulnerable state. It would still work, but it would be like equivalent to it would be equivalent to an e-machine. You'd be very susceptible to being attacked because you're now below the security rate of what the global network needs. So even the global network has a security rate. So all that shit plays a factor. If your security is not beef enough, you're gonna get infected. If you're living in an area where it's a very large city, you got businesses around you, you're in a targeting zone. Where I live, I'm in a targeting zone, which means the businesses near me, the schools near me, the banks near me. The banks are more than likely going to be messed with. That does happen. Companies every day are dealing with thousands and thousands of attacks. And do they get through? Not all of them. But if you're a home user and you're near a big corporation and they're dealing with some kind of maintenance or attack vulnerability that they're under attack and they're not telling people, well, now you as a home user can now become vulnerable. Look at what happened with Cloudflare. That's a perfect example. A simple update nearly wiped out about 60 to 70% of the global network. That's pretty bad. So you should always double check your machine once every month at least. Check it once a month. Go through it, make sure your files are like they are, run an SFC scan, which is command prompt as administrator, and then go from there, run your antivirus engines and do one at a time. If your computer has the power to run more than one thing at once, you can do that. Mine has the ability where I could run all 4 of I can run the command prompt, this, Malwarebytes, and then run revoke uninstaller all at the same time and do disk cleanup, and the computer barely even breaks a sweat. But that's also because I got 20 processing cores. Do processing cores matter? Yes and no. Now, malware can mess with all kinds of things. It can mess with all kinds of things. It can even mess with your CPU and your GPU. So just note to self, if you have a high GPU usage and your GPU is very high usage for no reason, you need to check your computer for Bitcoin mining or crypto mining and make sure you ain't got nothing floating on there that's malicious. There's other videos on YouTube that can show you that. I hope this helped. Like and subscribe, and I will see y'all next time.